What's up, ladies and gentlemen, it's SpadeWant, and welcome to February's monthly discussion. We are currently doing this video March 5th, and the time right now is 12:29 a.m. Why is this one later than normal? Later than usual? Honestly, last day of the month, literally got the stomach flu. That's all that really needs to be said. Granted, it was a one-day thing only, but I've been feeling rather weak the past few days. Wasn't till yesterday and the other day I started to actually get my strength back. I still feel like it's sort of hard to talk. So hopefully this isn't too long of a video. Don't think this is going to be too long anyway. Not much happened this month. Other than everything not going to plan. I really need to just stop making plans. Because more often than not, it just doesn't happen. So, when it comes to last month's discussion, I kind of went over what I wanted to do this month. With the channel, at least. And overall, none of that happened. Wanted to finish the main story for One Piece Plot Warriors 4, at the very least. I did make a bit of progress in that, at least. So that's never finished the main story. We're currently 66% done with the story, at least, if I'm recalling correctly. We're still ages away from finishing the treasure log. Yeah. So I made some progress in that game, at the very least. Wanted to get to and finish the next dungeon in Persona 5 Royal. Never even played the game. When it comes to Pokemon Legends Arceus, I forget what the goal was. I think it was to aim to finish it maybe. I don't even remember. Or at least make more progress. Never played that game either. So yeah, Lily did none of those three things. Either I didn't get around to it, or high time I had the time to do so. I was too exhausted to even bother. Because I've had fuck all sleep this whole past month. Very little sleep most of the time. So yeah, the lack of sleep plus background noise happening meaning lack of time to record, and just being too tired to do anything just led to me not doing much. Hopefully this month I can get decent sleep here in Moats, hopefully, and get something actually done. So yeah, that's pretty much why I didn't really do anything. Just didn't really have the energy. So yeah, lack of sleep, plus getting sick at the end of the month. Yeah, things just didn't go my way, huh? Regardless, what did I actually do this month? Overall, throughout the first week, ended up making more progress playing through Persona 3 Portable on my own time. As it stands, Fuka and Mitsu officially joined the team. That's how far I am. I haven't played the game in over 3 weeks now. Just haven't bothered to level grind. Also tried a game called Double Cross. Honestly, I don't really play for the game. I'm definitely really liking it, but I'm definitely bad at it since it's a platformer. And a rather tough one. The 1-star and 2-star levels are fine. I don't have too much trouble with them. The 3-star ones, yeah, that's why I struggle. Good game so far on my side of it. Were there any other games this month? Honestly, I guess this counts. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. The first one. Picked up playing that game where I left off. Last time, whatever the hell that was. Don't know why I started playing that game again, I just have. As for that new Naruto game coming out, no idea how I feel about it yet. Just looks like the same old to me. But then again, I haven't really played the Storm games. Much, at least. Who knows? I'll have to look more into that at some point. Yeah, well, I think those are the only games I ended up playing this month. Not too much. When it comes to... Wasn't there a Nintendo Direct this month? Or was that the following month? I don't even remember. Regardless, that was a pretty decent, good Direct. don't remember much of it at this point. I was going to do a YouTube discussion on it. Just didn't have the energy to do so. As for the Pokemon Direct, there's not enough to talk about to make a video talking about it. Because let's face it, it sucks. Other than some good artwork and that TCG reveal, that's all that Direct had going for it. Literally. At least that's the only part of it I liked of the Pokemon Direct. Terrible Direct, period. But regardless, what I mainly did this month was watch some TV shows and movies. A decent bit, actually. For starters, a few hours after the last monthly discussion, I finished off Fries with that. So I finished off watching that, so although technically speaking, I guess that would have been in the end of January. But whatever. A day or two after that, I ended up checking out Blue Lock. Did comes up an AMV for it. It got blocked, of course. Twice, technically. Whenever I get into uploading it elsewhere, it'll be the original. So, yeah. The original version of the AMV at least. Because the second version was only there to try and make it watchable here on YouTube. That didn't work. Worked for a few days only, though. So currently I'm caught up with the English version of Blue Lock. Not even halfway through the first episode I was hooked. I was iffy on this show because it just looks really weird. I'm definitely glad I gave it a chance. Out of boredom, I think. I was glad I gave it a chance. Another anime I stumbled upon this month that I'm currently caught up on. The rest of season 2 should be up later this year. And hopefully it gets to season 3. I only stumbled upon this show because of a random AMV. That being Record of Ragnarok. Really weird concept for a show. But oddly enough, I'm really liking it. So yeah, that was surprisingly a good watch. Hopefully the show continues overall. And around the 20th of the month that's pretty much when I finally started to watch the original Pokemon anime in order. Hopefully this time from start to finish. I have no idea when was the last time I tried to do this specifically. I know I grew up watching the show a lot, but I've never watched it in order. I think the last time I tried might have been 2014 or 16. I'm not quite sure. Maybe 17? I literally have no idea. All I know is I ended up then getting to roughly 33, 34 episodes in, and simply never got back to it. Currently, this time around, I think I'm 14 or 15 episodes in. That might be 14, actually. I think the last episode I watched so far would be that one episode the Ass and friends go to that one lighthouse where they see that giant dragonite. Which I guess we could call it Gigantamax. Who knows? Regardless, that's the episode I think I saw last. At this point, I think it's definitely been a week, maybe a little more than that, since I continued watching the show. So yeah, I gotta get back to that relatively soon. At some point. Other than that, that's pretty much it for animes, at least. And this is easily gonna be more than 20 minutes. Of course. Regardless, as for reality TV shows, ended up watching Dirty Old Cars. Dirty Old Cars is honestly a very good show. It may make you sick, potentially, but it's definitely a good show worth checking out. It's pretty much about professional cleaners cleaning dirty old cars. Simple as that. Definitely a show worth checking out. It only has 9 episodes for the first season. Hopefully it gets another season at some point. Hopefully. Other than that, I end up watching a documentary series. Some of it. At least I need to get back to it. It's only 6 episodes. Lies, Gold, and Videotape. That's the name of it. I've only seen the first 4 episodes so far. So I still need to check out 5 and 6. It's pretty interesting. Another show worth checking out, at least I think. What else was there? I think I ended up starting watching the newest season of American Pickles as well. season 24, I think. That's the season that show's on now. It still has a lot of seasons. That's a damn sore. What else did I watch though? Right. Goat latest is ongoing. I think I'm 4 episodes in. Which would be history's greatest heist with, I'm not quite sure how you say the person's name. Regardless, yet another show worth checking out. Interesting to see how some of those heists are pulled off. And how lucky some of the criminals were. Surprisingly. I feel like there are a few other shows I end up checking out. I literally cannot for the life of me remember them. Unless that's literally it. Literally trying to check. Alright, I almost forgot about this one. Dead Man's Curse. Dead Man's Curse, honestly, not the most interesting show involving gold and a curse, but it's interesting enough to where you kinda wanna see the rest of it, if that makes any sense. I'd say the show's still worth watching. It was definitely a show I've been wanting to watch for a few months now. Glad I finally got around to it. Beyond that though, I think that's it for reality shows. As for live action, also I don't think there's any. I don't think I bothered to watch any of those this month. I did semi-rewatch a handful of seasons for the cartoon also. Mainly as background noise. But at the same time, I pretty much paid attention to most of it. As like other shows for background noise this month. Honestly, mainly just also. And the Boondocks for background noise. I did watch most of season 3 for the Cleveland show over the past like 2 or 3 days while I was sick. I saw some of season 3 before, but almost all of it I've never seen before. I think I only have like 2 more episodes to watch. And then I finally finished watching that season. And then it's on to season 4. And then I can finally say I finished watching the Cleveland show. Even though that show ended a decade ago. Yeah, that show's older than I definitely thought it was. It literally ended in 2013. Damn. Beyond that, though, I think that's literally it for shows. Last up, movies. There's one movie I really don't remember what the hell it even was. So I can't even say it. Because I was like at the beginning of the month. And I just don't remember it. But there's an unknown movie I forget. I totally forget that I've seen. As every other movie, I definitely ended up watching when I was nearing the end of the month. So I definitely remember those. And maybe the year. I'm pretty much going off of memory at this point. So I ended up watching an Australian movie called BMX Bandits. I think it's from 1980 or 1982. Maybe 83. Not quite sure. An 80s movie regardless. Honestly, this movie is at least a 4 out of 10 for me. And is probably the first Australian movie I've ever seen. Maybe. At least I think it is. It could be? I don't know. Regardless, this movie, at the very least, I think it's worth checking out. I do think I would have enjoyed it more if I was a kid, if anything. Oh, this movie has a few problems, in my opinion. Technically speaking, there are 2 chase scenes. Even though in a way it's almost one big chase scene. Which is like most of the movie. To me, it drags out far too damn long. And killed the ranking I gave this movie. Like the first half hour was pretty good overall. But after that I feel like things just die down. And I feel like the ending of the movie, like I don't know, before the credits and right at the end, in between scenes, I feel like there deserves to be like some kind of a other scene in the movie. Oh, I feel like you know what I mean if you watch the movie. Like, it almost seems like there needs to be something else in between those 2 scenes for the credits at the very least. Regardless, though, yeah, that's pretty much why it's a 4 out of 10 for me overall. There's another scene in the movie where I feel like they dragged it out a bit too long as well. But that's all I'll say. Another movie I ended up watching was something called The Private Eyes from 1980. Cheesy as all hell of a movie, but it's definitely funny at times. I'd say it's definitely worth a watch if you're just looking for something stupid and cheesy as hell. Definitely worth watching. It's pretty much about two private detectives, or just two idiot detectives in general, trying to solve a murder mystery in a mansion. Honestly, for me, this movie was at least a 6 out of 10, to be honest. Not the best thing, but still pretty decent overall. Another movie I almost forgot I ended up watching was Going in Style. 1979, I think, is the year. Honestly, this movie went in a completely different direction than I thought it was going to go. That is for damn sure. But honestly, the first half hour, 45 minutes, is flawless. For me at least. That's about the movie I enjoyed the most. After that, things go in a different direction. And the movie kind of goes in like a different tone. Overall, it's not a bad thing. It's just not what I was expecting. I'd say this movie is at least a 6 out of 10 as well, for me. Definitely another one worth watching, in my opinion. Definitely one worth checking out. Apparently there's a 2017 movie with the same name. So I guess it's like, pretty much it's the same concept, just a different movie that's newer. No plans currently on if I plan on checking that one out or not. Just figured I'd mention that that movie's a thing. That there's like a newer one. And then we have a trilogy of movies that you are gonna hate me for not watching these sooner. I may do like a story time type video at a later date talking about these movies, but from start to finish, for the first time I ended up watching Jurassic Park 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, never watched those movies from start to finish before. And 3 was the only one I tried watching growing up. And oddly enough, didn't remember a damn thing about it. I thought that's the one I would connect to the most. Didn't remember a damn thing. Maybe I'll just talk about all of that in this video, who knows. Probably will. Save myself some extra trouble. So for me, Jurassic Park, in order, one of the ones I like the most. Honestly, I actually prefer the second one the most. Then it would be the first, then the third. I'm surprised the third one is a half hour shorter, at least 20 minutes, shorter than the first two. Binge watched all 3 of these movies in the same night. I think that was on like the 28th or 27th of the month when I watched it. When I ended up watching those. Alright, so why did I not watch these movies growing up? Honestly, quite simply, I was chicken. Yeah, these movies were way too scary for me growing up. And honestly, even as a teenager, I feel like if I tried watching those movies back then, even then, I feel like I would still be chicken to watch them. So, yeah. I was simply too scared to watch them. That's what made me want to watch these movies. At least at some point in my life. I kind of like forced myself to watch these this month. Because it's simply, first off, there are a hell of a lot of classic movies everyone loves and has seen before countless times. And plenty of people I grew up around as a kid, tween, and teenager that watched a bunch of those type of movies. I'm not talking about Jurassic Park specifically right now. I'm talking about just a bunch of big hit movies, all-time classics. There are a lot I haven't seen, and you will be pissed at me because I haven't seen them. Therefore, I'm not going to list them off. I'll talk about them whenever I watch them. And give my reasons. So, yeah. First off, I wanted to put myself in the kind of mindset of being in like the early to mid 2000s when everyone around me was like obsessed with these movies. Jurassic Park, specifically in this case. And I don't know, I kind of want to like put myself in the mindset of as if I'm watching these movies, as if I was back in time, back then, and try and think to myself, why does everyone obsess about these movies? What was so great about them? And yet, for me, I was just too chicken to watch them. So I've always had that curiosity of wanting to know what the big deal was. The same can be said for, again, a bunch of other big classic movies that everyone has seen and loves to death. The same can be said for those. It's that whole idea of putting yourself in the mindset of when you grew up around people at the time when they were obsessed with certain movies, series, and or franchises. Same could be said for TV shows even. So, that brings me to what are my thoughts on these three movies now that I've finally seen them. Honestly, let's start with the first one. Going into the first one, I definitely knew more about the first one than any of the other three when it comes to actually watching them in order in the same night. Even though I technically saw some of the third one, we'll get back to that in a bit. But when it comes to the first one, I definitely knew more about it than the other two. As for how I knew more about the first one, honestly just being online over the years, being on Tumblr, Twitter, I think even watching American Pickers, I think even they stumbled upon some props from the first movie in an episode, if I recall correctly. So I kind of got to learn a little bit of the behind the scenes when it comes to the first movie. Just from those three things alone over the years. So I definitely recognize a lot more about the first one than the other two. But when it comes to actually watching it, the creepiest thing in this trilogy to this day, from that night that creeped me the hell out the most, that tiny raptor hatching from the egg, that red goo, that's what creeped me the fuck out. That was the scariest thing in those three movies. Period. I know it's this weird goo, but still creep me the fuck out. So yeah, that was the creepiest thing about the whole three movies for me. Overall, when it comes to the first one, honestly, I definitely liked Malcolm's character a lot. And honestly, I kind of knew, even just from growing up, that Malcolm was a fan favorite character in the trilogy overall. So I was definitely expecting a decent bit, expecting something from him. The first movie really doesn't do much overall. Although the first movie is not the best, but it is the first, so you can't be too honest on it. Not really too much to say with the first one. It was a solid watch. I at least recognized a decent chunk of the cast. If anything, whether it be from screenshots or movie posters or whatever. The first movie was good enough for a first movie. Honestly, for me, I feel like it's a 6 out of 10. Personally. When it comes to the second one, it's interesting that they had a site B where the dinosaurs were pretty much being raised and living in nature. That was interesting. And the fact that Site B pretty much is the second and third movie is kind of interesting. Although it's still interesting that the trilogy is called Jurassic Park, yet the park itself in none of the movies actually open to the public. But that goes into the Jurassic World trilogy. Haven't seen that yet. I think I will try to watch those at some point. But regardless, I really like the idea that Malcolm is the main character in the second movie. And I'm guessing that's the case due to him being really popular in the first movie, if I had to take a guess. That's probably why he became the main character in the second movie. And overall, I can definitely see why. At least as far as I can tell and am aware of, he's considered a popular character. And I can definitely see why he is. The fact that he's the main character in the second movie, plus the second movie pretty much has dinosaur posters in it. I think that alone is what makes me like the second movie the most. Plus the leader of the Pozos, whatever that character's name is, again, was definitely one of my more favorite characters in the movie. Oh, the second movie was just great overall. I was personally more interested in the second one as I was watching it than the other two. The second movie flew by compared to the first one, and even the third one. Although, I do have one complaint with the second one. Kind of two, I guess. The first complaint would be Malcolm's daughter follows him. That was obvious. But the fact that she has no reaction when she first sees an actual dinosaur within the movie, which would be when the poachers are chasing after dinosaurs. The fact that she has no reaction as this, okay, cool. Dinosaurs are real again? You told me about them, but the fact that she has no reaction just seeing them for the first time with her own eyes kind of annoys me a little, personally. And the second thing that kind of annoys me with the movie would be the transition from the end of Site B to going to the city. I don't know what it is about that transition, but I was completely lost when it comes to what the fuck was happening. I guess I just never paid enough attention. So I guess this is my own fault. Regardless, the second movie for me is at least a 7 out of 10 for me. As for the third, before we talk about the third movie, let's talk about how I ended up watching some of it growing up. I saw the VHS tape in the local gas station in a blue milk container, crate, whatever you call those things. Back then, the local gas station literally had just a bunch of VHS tapes in there for like $1 or $2. Man, I wish they'd bring that back. Oh well. Or even just put DVDs in it. That was just a cool idea that they did. But that was one of... Jurassic Park 3 was one of a few movies I bought from that little container. It's the only one I remember actually getting from that container. But man, I don't know why, but I still treasure that. Just seeing it in the gas station, picking it up, bringing it home, attempting to watch some of it, with my dad when I was a kid. I might have been like anywhere from 7 to maybe 10 years old around then. Not quite sure how old I was. All I know is I didn't get far into the movie. Basically, my dad ended up watching all of it. And I think I probably left the room after a certain point. But strange I don't remember anything about this movie, despite the fact that I know I at least tried to watch some of it before. Oh, it's interesting. And that's the case. Regardless, a third movie. Definitely the weakest out of the three. It's interesting that the main girl from the first movie came back. If anything. Overall, the kid's mother in the movie, probably the most annoying character I have seen in a movie or so in ages. I really wanted her to go down. I wanted a dinosaur to do something. Anything. To that killer. It is what it is. Seals is annoying as fuck. Killer. And I feel like that killer alone is what makes me not like this movie all that much. Well, as much as the other two. Regardless, I'm surprised at how early in the movie we actually got some character deaths. Figured it would have taken a bit longer than how long it did. Although, not too much to say with the third movie. Still feel like it could have been a tad bit longer. Although for me, it's at least a 5 out of 10 for me overall. So yeah. Yeah, this is literally an hour-long video. So much for 20 minutes. Regardless, we're gonna call things here. So, until next time, stay golden.